Hey Umang, how are you, man?
Hi Arnold, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
All well. Thank you so much for taking out the time. I know you've been busy, got a whole lot going on with university and all the other things going on over there, life in the UK.
That's
So thank you so much for taking out the time to have a quick chat with us.
yeah, big thanks to you. Although we are talking after a long time, but
Yes, we're talking
ultimately
after a very long
uh,
time.
a very long time. But ultimately, I would say all has happened because of you. So a big thanks to you.
No worries, mate. Appreciate it. So, buddy, thank you for this. I actually just wanted to get you on call. The main idea behind this is we want to put out to our viewers some basic information about, students who go from India. There are so many challenges that they face. There's so much of exception versus reality, what they expect when they go there, and the challenges that they face, and how they should overcome that, and what they need to do, to deal with all of that. So that's what we wanted to pretty much get through in this session here.
Yeah,
So just wanted to get your take. I know you've had a bit of a whirlwind in deciding UK. UK was not even your primary choice, and coming
that's
to the
true.
decision of actually choosing the UK. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So initially, as you've rightly mentioned, I wasn't that decisive about the location. So when I started my search for masters, I focused on four things primarily, and those were what, why, where, and when. So,
Mhm.
what is it that I want to do? Because I really wanted to upskill myself. What course do I choose that helps me in my career progression? Does it justify with my past experience and skill sets or not? Why do I want to do that? Will it give me a boost in my career? Will it reshape my career towards a different subdomain? For example, my domain is data analytics. Will it open more revenues for me? And then when do I want to do that? Again, that was an important factor because I wanted to time it right, because of multiple factors, because of me arranging finances. And then, I was already in a job. I wanted to plan through and things like that. And then from where do I do that then? That was a big question. As you rightly mentioned, I wasn't that clear initially until, I gave you a call and then you gave me some very important pieces of information regarding the location, right? One thing that I clearly remember that you mentioned was the return on investment, right? So my thought process was, that I would probably choose a location which is low on costing because I wasn't in favor of financing, a major chunk of my
Mhm.
studies. So that was one thing that was running in my mind. Obviously, language was a factor. So, those were the four things that were playing around when I started this.
So among you, like every student, I'm assuming it's the same journey for you. You knew what you wanted to study, but
Right.
it was the where that was a little bit of a situation that, what should be that final destination. Students like yourself, you pretty much are aware of that budget. One can go, you can go up a couple of lakhs on your budget, which you did as well, actually.
Yeah.
But you can't suddenly go up 10 lakhs and 15 lakhs on a budget that you have. Now,
Yeah.
first things first, you had an ongoing career. You were very well settled. You were,
Yeah.
it's not like your career would not have taken you places. You had that progression in front of you, even with the
Right.
job going on in India. But how long was that decision making time between, hang on, if this is the time to go abroad, this is the time to do it. It doesn't matter where, but this is the time to do it. And what made you actually take that plunge to say that this is what I do want to do? Because I distinctly remember, yes, for students, PR is an important factor. Living abroad, working abroad, settling abroad is. But for you, you were always very, the course oriented. You were very focused on
Yeah.
skill sets and how that's going to take you to the next level. Everything else was going to be, a fallout of what you do. But that
Yeah.
wasn't why you were doing it. So, what
Right.
made you take that plunge across that? Okay, I want to go abroad to study.
That's a great question. So initially, when I thought about it, I was fully focused on the course content. Whatever the course is offering me, what are the credentials of the course? What are the credentials of probably the place from where I'm doing that course and things like that. And then I went to the extent where I looked at that course curriculum and I studied the intricacies of the course. That okay, this is the technology that I'll be taught. These are the concepts that I'll be taught to that extent. Now, the only thing that was different back then was that we were in a pandemic. when I actually started
Mm.
planning this entire thing. And I felt that that sort of deviated my journey, in different directions, that course of pandemic. I wouldn't say that, I got impacted by it in any way. Rather, it gave me more time to deliberate and think through the right decision. But I would say there were changes that happened in that course, and I was quite agile towards those changes. So initially, I was planning few countries, and then, my call got landed to you, and I'm still thankful for that decision of mine that ultimately got landed to you. And then you gave all the right, reasons why I should choose a country like UK.
Yeah.
So and then, again, probably I'm reiterating the fact that it is the most important factor for anyone planning studies from anywhere in the world is the course that they're targeting, giving them that benefit that they want in their career. you know I've always gone through those points. Always studied that sort of angle really well, that okay, if I'm picking up this specific course, it will open another avenue for me in my domain.
So when we spoke UK because you were considering Europe. So we did,
Yeah,
we did kind of go into UK over Czech Republic at that
yeah,
point of time. But a similar course was available and would definitely have been available in Australia, US, Canada.
yeah.
Was it purely, your course content versus the cost, the budget of it, the 1 year program versus the 2 year programs? Or was it something about the UK which was a driving factor for you as well?
Obviously, as a country, UK is amazing. I've heard a lot about the country. I've seen, through social media or through, internet. I've learned a lot about UK as a country. But then there were other factors that actually inclined me towards UK. One was the post-study,
Mm.
work options,
Yeah,
language, and then, when I researched more, I got to know that specifically areas like London, and I'm sure there'll be many areas like these here in the UK, are quite cosmopolitan. So you wouldn't get that cultural shock when you land here.
yeah,
You will be able to accommodate yourself quite easily, with people and things like that. So that those were few reasons, and then the biggest reason was masters versus PG. So
yeah.
although I wanted to get good course for myself, but at the same time, since I was doing this education after 12, 13 years, I was ideating on those terms as well, that ultimately the final degree that I'll be getting, will it have a global value or not?
Mhm.
So, that was also one of the consideration factors which I feel, was deliberated really well before choosing UK.
On one of the points you just mentioned, you had a gap of 12, 13 years. A
Yeah,
lot of students are worried, after this gap, will I get a visa? But that wasn't a factor for you. When we
yeah,
spoke, and with our background for the UK, it wasn't a factor for us. So I cleared that out to you pretty
yeah,
early. But the fact that you had a 13-year gap in your education, at any point
yeah.
of time, did you feel that things have changed? Am I looking to go back into education? Is it the right thing? Am I going to, go back into that mindset of education structure and structured classes and do, how did you get to that decision? Did it bother you? Or were you, focused ki nahi padna hai? And, I want to upskill. It doesn't matter that 13-year thing did not really bother you, because a lot of students, it is a factor for them. Can we, do it? Should we do it at this stage? This is our age. We are married. We've got kids. Should we actually do
Right,
this? So what
right.
was your thought process there? Was there any doubt?
Yes. It wouldn't be right on my part if I'll say no, no, there weren't any doubts. Obviously, it was quite intimidating in the beginning, and uh, you know, I knew that things will be a bit overwhelming when I start with my course, because sitting in the classroom environment, and then, experiencing that vibe and listening to the professors, and being in that environment where you're giving weekly assignments and projects. So if I look at those factors, yes, initially I had my reservations. Not that I wouldn't be able to cope up with things, but on the grounds that it
It's been a
will take
while.
me time. It's been a
Yeah.
while and it will take me time to get hang of things. But to be honest, when I actually started with my course, it was a very, very smooth journey. It took me just couple of days to sort
Mhm.
of get adapt to the situation. Maybe because of the teaching environment, it may be because of the university, or I was highly inclined towards the subjects that were being taught,
Yeah.
that I sort of adapted really well to the situation. So, and again, it all ties back to the fact that, have you chosen the right course for yourself? Is the
Exactly.
content there in the course that sort of inclines you to be sitting in the class and listening to everything that has been delivered? And that's what exactly happened with me. I was really happy with the content.